Okay, so we're going to continue on. If you like, we're going to learn part 2 of swimming in Qi. There are 3 parts to the exercise, and we're breaking it up so that we can really enjoy the different aspects of it. Also, so that we can do it in 15 minutes. So practical reasons as well. So let's go ahead and start with the parts that we were just working on. Okay, so we've got our opening. We're inhaling as the arms sweep out to the sides. As the arms start to elevate past the level of the eyes, the head starts to tilt a little bit, opening up the throat and the neck. The eyes gaze up, not all the way, but about 60 or maybe, I'm guessing 60 degrees. Coming up onto the toes if you like. And then as we exhale, we're guiding the hands back down. Once again, the gaze follows a bit with the hands, but you're not tilting down. You're allowing it to stay at that even level. Once you get to the breastbone and about the middle of the breastbone, you're going to take another inhale. Pointing the fingertips down. Exhaling down the midline of the body. Towards the lower dantian, that's that space 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. We're taking an inhale here. And then exhaling as we release. Henry calls it, I think return to Qi. I like that. I think that's really beautiful. Then the palms are going to be facing up. Remember, this is part 1. The palms are facing up towards the sky. The hands are about at hip level. And then on our inhale, we're shooting the arms out and the hips go back. So that helps with our center of gravity, our balance, but it also creates this wonderful dynamic of forward motion and backward motion. So we're inhaling. The palms are up still. Then we're going to rotate the shoulders. So if you can, instead of making a motion from the wrists so much, allow it to come from the shoulders. And then we're exhaling as we sweep the arms out and back, rotating the wrists. Once again, rotating the wrists as much as possible, articulating the movement as much as possible without bringing any pain, so that the palms are once again face up. So that's our review. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. And now for our transition to part 2, we start the same, inhaling and then exhaling as the palms now face the earth. Okay, so before it was here to here, now the palms are going to face the earth. And then we're going to inhale as we allow the hands to scoop up the body towards just underneath the clavicle, pushing the arms out and the wrists and hands out. And then exhaling as we rotate once again the shoulders so that the hands come together, the 4 fingers come together in this little V type action. There we go. Almost like you're doing a dive, not quite. You wouldn't want to do a dive that way, but it's similar. And then we're inhaling, scooping up the body, pushing out, exhaling as the fingers come together, the shoulders by the ears. And then releasing the hands a little bit as they scoop up the body, up the torso, pushing out from the clavicle, and then exhale. So in and out, in and out. All right, quick little things, quick little things. First, if practicing this over and over and over again starts to aggravate the lower back or the hips or the shoulders, please feel free to take breaks. Once again, we don't want to aggravate anything. We don't want to cause more joint pain. If your joints are feeling pretty good, start thinking a little bit when you're not actually practicing the exercise for the exercise, which I'll explain in a minute. Start thinking about how the musculature and the structure of the body is able to really be accentuated in this exercise. What I mean by that is, Henry's talked about it before in seasonal exercises. We've got the scapular bones, which are these bones in the back, and they kind of help move with the shoulder, expanding. So we expand the back, and then as we bring those wings together, we're expanding the chest area. So in this exercise, in many of the exercises, but in this exercise particularly, we really get that change in dynamic between the expansion and accentuation of the back versus the expansion and accentuation of the chest, the upper chest area. So we can start thinking about that movement and really feeling the dynamic there, as well as in the low back, especially in this second part where we come and we're in the diving motion. The low back is once again opened up, the tailbone pointing down, and these low back structures in an open position. And then as we switch forward, the tailbone scooting under and then opening up the front lower half of the body, right? So you can really feel that change in posterior to anterior, and the opening closing dynamic there. All right, so not for a Qigong way, but just for an anatomical way to help understand all the joints and musculature being activated. Play with that just a little bit. So for part 2, we have the same beginning, then we transition, scooping up, and as we scoop up, you feel this lift. Lift both in the core muscles as well as maybe a little bit in the upper half of the body, pushing out, our opening of the chest, our opening of the anterior of the lower half of the torso, and then closing. Okay, so just play with that for a moment. Feeling the dynamic between the front of the body and the back of the body. And coming back to standing. All right, now I want you to let go of all of that. Meaning, when we're actually practicing the exercise, I don't want you to be thinking about the musculature. I want it to be so far back behind you so that you can just relax the mind into the exercise and allow the breath to carry you through. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to do 3 of each. 3 of part 1 and 3 of part 2. Part 1, part 2. 3 times. So our opening, inhaling, exhaling, In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Part one, we're inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Transitioning to part two, we're inhaling. Palms are now facing the earth as we exhale. Inhaling, scooping up the torso into the torso. And then exhaling as we bring the forefingers together in that V. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. And then for now, we're simply going to stand and then close. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. One quick other note, when we're doing the scooping, it's not really all the way from the earth to the feet, up the legs. It really is more, even though it feels a little bit like that. And as you go through, the flow is a little bit like that. It's really going maybe from the knees, but the impetus is into the torso. Okay, into the torso, into the lower dantian, maybe just beneath the lower dantian, and then up the torso, once again to about the level of the clavicle, so it's not way up in the head.